I saw in the second set you were saying toss the ball higher in your serve. Were you focusing on that, on tossing it
I
higher?
was probably just like reiterating that the side, like when I was with the wind, the toss kept going like way out in front of me. Um, so it was, I don't know what I was trying to tell myself, but the side with the wind, I was just tossing way too far out in front. So it was more just like a reminder to correct, bring it back a little bit because of the wind.
Thanks. Doesn't seem to be much of a Miami hangover. You talked about liking getting on these kind of streaks, getting a lot of matches in.
Yeah.
How'd you feel out there?
Yeah, good. I mean, it's always tricky first round, especially playing someone you don't really know, someone that's had a couple matches already here on clay. Haven't played against her before, didn't really know much about her. So I felt like it was just a little, couldn't quite get my feet under me as far as like, should I start pressing more? Should I hang back and just kind of let her start missing and stuff like that? But as far as first match goes, I mean, I'm happy with, the way I played and working on some different things, not switching to the clay. So I thought I was able to do that today. And, whoever I play next, I think it'll be a much tougher match with either Peyton or Isla. I mean, they can play at a really high level. So we'll be tougher, I think, tomorrow, but happy with just getting the win today.
There was a report in L'Equipe today about a letter being sent from the top 20 players on both tours to the slams about wanting more prize money, bigger share of that. Can you talk about how that came together and why you think that as a top 20 player and involved in other things, why you think that's important?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something, I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's just something that we're working with our PBRs, WTA and ATP PBRs with, and hopefully we'll have more information about that soon, but I don't want to go into that too much just because, I don't know, I shouldn't.
And then just a different sort of topic. The first, I think, 10 matches, I think, just finished, and the 10th one just finished. They've all been in straight sets today. Mm-hmm. And there's been a bunch of quick matches this tournament. I'm wondering if there's ever something like in the air at a tournament that leads to that, or if it's just purely a coincidence. If you see like a whole day of like
quick
three
matches?
setters, or vice versa, even like a whole day where everything's a battle. Is there something like that you can sort of sense at a tournament when it kind of shifts one way or the other?
I mean, I don't know why, but that definitely happens. I felt like there was one day in Miami where it was just everybody was playing the longest 3-set matches. Today was kind of the opposite. I don't really know why that is. I wish I could tell you, but I think sometimes, I don't know what it is. Maybe we're all watching each other and then we all decide to do the same thing after watching each other play and going on afterwards. But yeah, it's funny how sometimes days are like that. They're either super long or super quick.
You talked a little earlier in the week about proving doubters wrong, and I just wonder what form does that arrive in for you? Where does that doubt manifest itself?
Yeah, when did I say? I don't remember what context I was talking about.
The media day, just saying, you showed some people that you could have a successful, consistent career, especially.
Oh, you mean like peaking a little bit later on in my career? Yeah, like that type of stuff. Sorry, so what was your question?
So how does that manifest itself? Where do you hear that doubt?
I don't know if I hear it. Maybe I make it up in my head. That's also possible. I don't know. I think sometimes you just get a sense of like, when you're playing, there's the next crop. Maybe you're not the one getting the wild cards. Maybe you're not the one that has the hype around them. And that's fine. I never like to be the person with all the hype anyways. I think that's made for a certain kind of person. And I don't think that person's me. But I think that I was able to kind of just embrace and use it as motivation that maybe people had already like written me off, or maybe I peaked, or maybe I maxed out at my potential. And I just always took that more of just a challenge of just always wanting to get better and to always improve. And I never thought that like I reached my full potential. Like I always thought there were so many things I could get better at, and so many things that I could do or add to my game that maybe people didn't think I had, or, something like that. So I think it's a little bit of just me motivating myself. And it's not like that someone directly told me that. I think it's just kind of the feeling that you get when you're just, maybe you feel like you are plateauing a little bit in the rankings and you're just, I don't know, there's just not a lot of hype around you. So you kind of assume everyone's just kind of maybe thought you're kind of reached, your potential and where you're at. And I don't know. So maybe it's more just me making it up in my head.
During the second set, when she took the injury timeout, was it hard to reset?
Everybody I played in Miami took an injury timeout. So I was like, let's just keep it going every single match. The only one that really didn't was like Iryna, and I lost. So I just take it as like maybe it's a sign that I'm going to win the match. So no.
Coming in as the top seed, how does that change your mentality and your rhythm, if it does at all?
Doesn't really change much. I mean, I think there's even more pressure maybe just because people see the one next to your name and expect you to win. But I mean, there's not much different between me and Maddie at the second seed. It's one ranking spot or the next person after that. We're all playing some really good tennis, and I feel like this draw is pretty stacked, and we've all had some really good tournaments this year as far as me or Maddie or Belinda or Ashlyn Kruger or, you know, Callan Sky and I just played a tough match, and she's got to play Maddie now third round. Like, there's so many good players. So to me, it doesn't really mean much. It's cool, but it's cool if you win the tournament and you can say you're the one seed and you won the tournament. But there's so much depth now. I don't think it matters that much.
There's been a big uptick in the number of 500 events on the calendar. I think from like 12 to 18 this year. How does that affect things, and does that change, you know, how you approach a tournament like this, or how just generally, and also kind of a big range of fields at those 18 events as well. Yeah,
there's definitely, I think, since a lot of the tournaments decided to upgrade, and all this is fairly recent and new, it's kind of like getting a little bit of a grip on which weeks are going to be tough, which weeks maybe aren't going to be as tough. I remember playing Berlin last year. It was like everybody in the top 10 was entered, and it was crazy. Here, I feel like the draw is also really, really strong, considering it's the first week and we're on green clay in the U.S. But yeah, it's interesting when that kind of shifts. And I mean, the 500s are so tough because the draws are usually a little smaller. So you're playing someone really good first or second round already. And I think it's almost just as hard to win those as it is to try almost win a 1,000 in a sense, just because you don't have a lot of time to kind of get your game under you. You just have to go out there and play a top seed kind of right away. So that always makes it different and I think tough. But yeah, it's just a little bit of an adjustment, knowing that maybe more tournaments like that, you just don't have as much time to kind of work your way into a draw.
Would you ever try to intentionally schedule one that had a softer field that you knew might be an easier place to scoop up points?
I mean, maybe, yeah. I think some people do that. Yeah. If you want more matches, or you know it's going to be weaker, or I mean, for sure, there's for sure girls that do that just for the getting in qualifying or main. They know, like, Berlin, let's just use that example, is going to be really tough to get into. Stuttgart's really tough to get into. Girls have trouble getting into qualies there. So in that sense, for sure, you definitely look at which weeks are stronger and maybe not. But yeah,